Okay, so I'm not going to talk any mathematics. Okay. PRL, and PRL is called as the Cradle of Space Research in India, as you can see over here, and it all started with Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, who carried experiment developed in PRL. So PRL has been actually the leaders in terms of sending instruments in space for doing fundamental science. And if you look at this logo of PRL, which you will be seeing very often over here, what does it communicate? This is the symbol of the sun with the circle and dot. This with the cross in the center is the symbol of the earth. And then you have two lines connecting them and then a big circle. And if you translate this into what it means PRL research encompasses the earth, the sun, immersed in the fields and radiation, reaching from and to infinity all that man's curiosity and intellect can reveal. So essentially the research in PRL encompasses from the core of the earth to almost the end of the universe. And in the bottom you are seeing the two campuses of PRL in Ahmedabad, the main campus and the Thaltej campus. This is about 5 kilometers away, like you have the scattered campuses of this university. But we also have a campus in Udaipur called Udaipur Solar Observatory, which is in the middle of the lake. You see this Fateh Sagar Lake, and this is the observatory in the middle of the Fateh Sagar Lake. And then we have a campus in Mount Abu as an observatory. Now, when you talk about what PRL has contributed, I don't know whether you may recognize Professor U.R. Rao. I don't know how many of you know Professor U.R. Rao. Anybody in the audience? Very few, right? He is called the father of satellite in India. He started the satellite program in the country. He was working with Professor Sarabhai in PRL, and then Professor Sarabhai said, you have to go to Bangalore to start the satellite program. Like Dr. Kalam was sent to start the rocketry program in Thumba. Dr. Kasurirangan, I hope some of you may be recognizing him. He is the one who started the new education policy, but he has been alumni of PRL, and he and Professor Rao both, and they are well-known figures. They all both became the chairman ISRO Secretary Department of Space. And then of course many others which you are seeing over here, they are all alumni of PRL who have been the directors of various laboratories within the country. Before I go into further, let me also thank all the colleagues and collaborators on various Indian planetary missions. Essentially because when you talk about missions, there is not one or two, there are a huge number of people, including scientists, engineers, technicians, technocrats, technical assistants. They work together. Whether it's a launch vehicle, whether it's a satellite, whether it's a mission, project, ground support, everything has to work in synchronous. And therefore, there's more than few thousands of people who got involved into one mission. And that's why we need to thank all of them before I really start into this talk. So let me start by talking to the Indian lunar exploration, which all started with the Chandrayaan 1 mission in 2008. We had the Chandrayaan 2 mission in 2009, and then of course the Chandrayaan 3, the most celebrated mission in 2023. In between I will also talk about the Mangalyaan, the Mars orbiter mission, and then later on in the end I will talk about what India is planning to do in the future too. So talking about the Chandrayaan 1 mission, which was launched on 22nd of October 2008, and after 16 days of travel we reached the moon on 8th of November, carrying 11 experiments on the board, and 3 of them were actually being flown for the first time. That means Indian mission, the Chandrayaan 1, actually carried new experiments which have not been sent back. And then it was also truly international character because there were 11 experiments on board, and you see this whole spacecraft filled with the experiments. They are all sitting at different locations because they have to do different kind of science. MIP, which you seeing over here, the grey box, is this independent spacecraft or a small satellite of its own, which was released after we reached the 100 kilometers per orbit.
1987 and PhD from Indian Institute of Technology BHU, Banaras Hindu University in 1992.
Thanks and compliments to the department, and thanks for inviting me.